I'm Cheryl. Welcome to my art studio. Last week I had prepared and painted these 4 panels of cartoon characters of trick-or-treaters for the holidays coming up. Every year I have a party for my friends, and this year because of COVID it's going to be a little smaller. But anyway, every year I make some kind of prize to give out to my guests as prizes for the best costumes. And it gives them incentive to come dressed and makes the party more fun. So this year I painted up these panels, and they're going to be given out at the party on Saturday night, Halloween. So with that said, the reason for my video today is I thought I'd share with you how I'm going to hang up my panels or set them up to be hung. They're only a 1/4 inch thick. And obviously you can't put a nail or a screw through them and ruin the artwork. You could put holes at the tops and hang them with a cord. That would be okay, but that would also put a hole through your artwork as well, and I don't want to do that. So I'm doing it a bit differently, and I'd like to show you how I went about doing it. If you have any other ideas on how you would hang them up, please put them in the comments below and let me know, because I'd like to know how you did it. So yeah, please like this video and subscribe if you haven't already subscribed, and we'll get on with showing you how I went about it. Thanks. So I bought a piece of 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch molding. Actually, it's about 4 foot long, and I got it at the Home Depot. And you could probably pick something like this up at any of your home wood supply stores. And I've got a caulking gun, and I've got some Loctite wood construction adhesive, and what I did was I took my 4 foot board and I figured out how many pieces I needed for what I'm doing, and I just took a handsaw and just sawed them. They're not the best end cuts, but they're not going to be seen. They're going to be in the back of the panels, so I didn't care. So I cut them up. I have 4 longer ones that go at the top, and I have 4 shorter ones that go at the bottom, so that the panels will hang flat against the wall, and they'll be even, pretty much even from the top to the bottom on the wall. So I went to the hardware store and I purchased these little triangle hangers that they have 2 holes in them, and you put these little teeny tiny nails in them. So in order to hold the nails and get them in, I took a pair of pliers, and this is a longer nail, but just to show you how I held them, I put them in the pliers with the head all the way to the top, and just kind of put them on in the hole like this, and then tapped so that it would stand on its own, and then followed through by banging them all the way in. So these are ready to be glued to the back of the panels. So that's what we'll do next. What I'm doing now is I am measuring the little piece of wood that I've got the hangers on for the center point. And then I am measuring the panel itself for the center of the width of the panel. Double checking my measurements to make sure they're right. And placing my little piece of wood about 4 or 5 inches below the top, and then I'm marking it with pencil all the way around for placement. And I will do the same with the little tiny blocks of wood at the bottom, and I place those, actually I placed them about the width of the ruler and made them nice and straight, and I marked each and every one of them with the pencil lines. So we will fast forward through the video to the next step at this point. So I got the tip off of my construction adhesive, and it's just a very small opening. I don't want too much glue coming out at once. I'm putting it into the caulk gun and set the caulk gun to work with the glue. There's a long rod in the back you have to turn up and down in order for it to work. And then you just squeeze the trigger and the glue comes out the other end, and I'm placing the glue in the box where the block of wood is to be positioned on the panel. You push down a little bit and make sure it's set, and some of the glue will squish out. And I take a napkin and I just wipe off some of the excess glue. Proceeding forward, we'll do that with each of the panels. Make sure that the blocks of wood are nice and straight and in their positions. And I'll fast forward to the next step. I'm looking for something to weight down those little blocks of wood. So I'm getting little cans of paint and I'm going to put them on each one just to give them a little weight to hold them down till they dry. So I let my panels dry overnight, 24 hours, and the glue has now set up and everything is nice and strong, and I'm ready to finish the backs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my big 1.5 inch paintbrush and I'm going to give them a couple coats of black paint to finish them off and make them look nice in the back. So once I've done that, I'll be back. So my panels are all painted up and the back, and they look really nice. I only had to do one coat of black paint instead of the two that I thought I would have to do because I used a very high pigmented paint. The paint that I used is the Novacolor brand Carbon Black number 109, and it did a really nice job of painting these up. They look pretty on the back as well as the front. And so now I'm going to let them dry for 24 hours, and I'll come back and I'll show you how to wire them up and how they look on the wall. So I'm taking 20-pound picture wire, and you buy whatever weight you need. Make sure you get the right weight. My panels are very light, so it doesn't need a very heavy wire. And I'm cutting a piece that's approximately, I want to measure about 1 inch from the top and have at least 3 inches on each side extra. I'm pulling the wire through the bracket and twisting it around several times to keep the wire in place. Just twist and twist until you think it's secure enough. So I'm doing it right to the end. Then I'll pull the wire through the other side and measure approximately 1 inch below the top of the panel. You want to make sure you have at least 1 inch between the top of the panel and the tippy top of your wire, and then loop again on this side around several times. Pull everything tight and cut the wire with the wire cutters. So make sure your wire ends are fully twisted in so that no one gets scratched or the wall doesn't get scratched. And check again to make sure that you have at least 1 inch from the top where the nail would sit. So this panel is done, and we'll do the rest of the panels off camera. My Halloween trick-or-treat panels are done. I've got hangers on them, and they're hanging in my kitchen right now, and I'll show you in a minute how they look. You'll see that they hang nice and flat against the wall because of the 2 blocks that I had put on the back, and I think they turned out quite nicely. They're going to make nice prizes at my Halloween party for my guests that come in costume. If you know of a different way of hanging frameless art panels, put them in the comments below. I'd like to see or hear how you did it. Like and subscribe, and if you haven't seen the series of 4 videos on how I created these panels, I'll put the link at the top at the end so that you can click on the very first video of the series. So again, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.